Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey guys, and welcome to 𝗕𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗃, your #1 source for all things films and movies. And while we've been waiting for quite some time to finally see something or anything from Venom 2, we finally did get the brand new trailer for the movie, and a lot of fans are incredibly excited. So today we thought it'd be fun to look back at the history of Tom Hardy and see some very interesting moments of things that have happened to him when he was being interviewed. Namely, there's been a little bit of a track record of Tom Hardy sometimes getting really uncomfortable questions during interviews, and he's such a savage when he responds to the interviews, and we wanted to take a look at some of those moments because they can actually be really entertaining to look at. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So starting things off, we wanted to take a look at this really awkward interview that happened with Tom Hardy, where an interviewer oddly asks him about his sexuality, and he honestly just does such a great job shutting the interviewer down and just abruptly ending the question, and it's pretty savage at the same time, and we really appreciate it.
But given interviews you've done in the past, your own sexuality seems a bit more ambiguous. Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
I was referring to an interview given to Attitude magazine a few years ago.
But what is your question?
Then there was this other instance where at a premiere for a movie, Tom Hardy is kind of caught up by an interviewer or a reporter who starts asking a question somewhere along the lines of insinuating that Tom Hardy is a Skype father or something like that, and it seemed like a really inappropriate and awkward question to be asking in this type of setting, or let alone in general, and just the way, once again, Tom Hardy responds in just a pretty cool and savage way and shuts that reporter down and just kind of moves along. He doesn't even lose his cool, but obviously it's a pretty aggravating question to be asked in this scenario.
As a Skype father, you know, you coined that.
What are you on about, man?
Skype father. Is it? Do you think it's difficult in Hollywood to be an actor? To be an actor in Hollywood.
Thanks for your question. They're awesome. You need to
Lisa.
work on those, buddy.
Lisa, nice
Hello,
to
how you
meet
doing?
you.
Right.
How are you?
Right questions, man. This question suck. I apologize.
Then on the flip side though, it does seem like, for the most part, Tom Hardy is a pretty laid-back person when it goes to appearing in various interviews. Matter of fact, we've seen him do a lot of really unorthodox things that a lot of actors don't typically do when they're being interviewed for a role that they had in a movie and they're doing some sort of press junk. For instance, we've seen Tom Hardy just sitting there while being interviewed, eating some snacks along the way.
Making a movie was an incredible, always something that was entirely unpredictable. You know, 2015 was the hottest year in recorded history, so we had weather shifts all the time that complicated the entire production.
Tom, he's already snacking on the smoked chocolate chips. How are they, bud?
Let me try
That's
one.
really good.
They're good, aren't they? They taste like a campfire.
We've even seen him vaping indoors during an interview, which just kind of shows that he's pretty laid back and comfortable when being interviewed, and he maybe doesn't take the things as seriously as some of the other actors does, but it does contribute to his laid back personality that a lot of people are fans of.
𝗕𝗫𝗄,
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm from Norway, so
Are you? Yeah. My
𝗕𝗫𝗄.
mom's from Norway. My mom's a Norwegian citizen even. Yeah.
Oh, and you were just acting with a Norwegian actor, Kristoffer Joner. Kristoffer Joner in The Reverend, no?
Yes, I was. Actually,
Yeah.
yes. Actually, yes, I was. Yeah, actually, doesn't. Yes, yeah.
Then there was a time where Tom Hardy was kind of being asked a bunch of silly questions, and just the way he claps back and gives an answer that might be a little smart is kind of clever as well.
How do you work between takes? I mean, to get tough, to be badass, to be pissed off. Thank you.
I actually play Scrabble. You should try it, buddy.
There was another interviewer who asked Tom Hardy a bit about how he embraces or goes into conflict with other people, and interestingly enough, we do see Tom Hardy talk a little bit about what type of person he is and how he's maybe more of the preemptive type of person to strike before someone even gets the chance to come at him. And that could actually be applied to some of these interviews where before he's able to get tangled up in a weird or awkward question, he just shuts down the interviewers very often.
Come back all the way for revenge, that phrase. Can you understand that? You
No.
know, for revenge, are you a revengeful person?
It depends. It depends. Never say never, you know what I mean? It depends how much I'm hurt about something. So, you know, I would never.
There was another time that Tom Hardy was being interviewed and they were questioning him about politics, and he just did a really good job at avoiding the topic and kind of was aware with the fact that politics is a hot topic and it's easier just to avoid being interviewed on a question like this to not cause any conflict or dilemmas anywhere.
So we first start out, we're like, what do you think about the crazy stuff going on in politics? And he's like,
that's way above my pay grade.
and then we're like, okay, well, do you like follow anything like that?
I know you're busy though, I get it. I'm just saying I'm busy, it's just like, that's kind of way above my pay grade though.
I mean, he would just like wouldn't answer any questions.
We wanted to give a quick reminder, we do have a really awesome Instagram page that updates you guys on everything happening Marvel immediately. So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, check it out, link in the description. There's also a ton of really awesome memes and other things that are posted on there. So make sure you guys are following that page, and let's go ahead and jump into this story. Then there was this other time that seems incredibly uncomfortable for Tom Hardy to be in, where there was just a mass number of people trying to get autographs from him and were essentially swarming the guy while he was just trying to move through the crowd. He even did have some sort of security with him, but it was very clear that he definitely was way overwhelmed with how many people were surrounding him, and it seemed like he was kind of encouraging people to back off just because of how crazy it had gotten, and it could probably be really scary to be an actor in that situation. So you can't blame him in general where he might be more standoffish in public just because of events like this where things kind of can get out of control.
Sidewalk, ladies and gentlemen. On the sidewalk, please. This way, ladies, this way. Tom, can I get a picture?
Though on the flip side, we have seen a lot of settings where Tom Hardy is approached by various fans or even just people who want to get an autograph or whatever, or take pictures of him for press, and he seems like a really relaxed person and very willing to take time out of his day to sign autographs or to just make some small talk if there are fans in the crowd. And that's something we think is really cool because a lot of actors really don't take that chance and they just try to get from point A to point B and avoid the paparazzi as much as possible. Though Tom Hardy seems like a pretty stand-up guy who's willing to embrace the paparazzi in one way or another and interact with them.
You looking forward to the premiere, Tom?
Yeah, I'm a little bit jet lagged.
How's Liverpool yesterday?
It was nice, mate. It was nice. I always like it.
Yeah. Are you done?
But then there's also been really awkward times where maybe the person asking the questions in the interview are the main person making the whole situation uncomfortable. For instance, there was this super awkward interview for the first Venom movie, and it's almost cringy to watch just how the interviewer makes the moment so uncomfortable for Tom Hardy and his co-star.
I've interviewed, you know, like I said, I've interviewed pretty much every A-list actor, every Academy Award winner. The last.
Show off about it, man.
I'm not dropping names. I'm not.
Back in your box. We've met a few people ourselves, you know what I mean?
There's a point.
Bloody rodeo geese.
Jesus.
None have
We're in
been-
Hollywood
We may
now,
not
aren't we,
be
guys?
from here, right?
Just got here from London.
We
It's all
do
changed.
know what goes
I'm
on
just
here.
building
up.
Okay,
That's right, chill.
just building up the old press release.
No, I'm just saying.
And just when you think that that interview is falling apart enough, it just progressively goes on and gets even worse, and you're just like, how did this even happen? And I think the interviewer himself even has acknowledged it on a later date, talking about how he kind of just messed up and botched the interview. So it was fun, but it does look a little bit like a train wreck of an interview.
Sorry. Your director's leaning on you to bring some comedic moments that we haven't exactly seen you do before.
You mean I'm not funny?
I think you're extremely funny. I just haven't seen it on camera often.
Well, thanks for that, bud.
All right.
We laughed.
Well, you know, you laid it out there, so I'll go ahead and say this.
You're not funny.
You are very funny.
Thank you.
Just know when you're trying to be.
All right, bud.
So what did you guys think of these moments? Do you feel like Tom Hardy was justified in most of these situations where it seems like he's being bombarded by weird or awkward interviews or just mobs of crowds? Let us know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this, uploaded every single day of the week. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.